Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today I'm showing off one of my more favorite ships, the Neptune, the tier 9 British light cruiser. Actually, technically the only cruiser, so I guess but it's still technically a light cruiser. All the same, I am joined with Imperial. He's currently working on his own line, the British DDs. He's currently working on the Jutland. And let's talk about the Neptune. So the Neptune, coming up from the Edinburgh, can feel like a slight downgrade. Granted, the guns fire faster than the Edinburgh. You have a little bit longer range. The main issue a lot of people have with the Neptune is its citadel. Its citadel sits above the waterline and is relatively big, going from the very front turret to the very rear turret, or better yet, third turret, thereabouts. So your citadel is huge. It is very, very big, which means you can easily eat a ton of damage. And yes, you do have a fantastic heal that does heal up quite a bit of that damage. One good hit on that citadel and more than likely it's a devastating strike. So a lot of people have this issue with the Neptune compared to, say, the Minotaur, which is the tier 10. The Minotaur is along the same line, but the Minotaur has a advantage over the Neptune, and that is going to be its concealment. The Neptune has a 10.1 kilometer detect, and it's not the greatest thing to be detected early. Now I am trying to be a little bit aggressive, trying to push in towards the decap, try to assist as much as possible, and as always there's a ton of cruisers with radar, and this is going to cause a pops up. And one good thing about the British cruisers, and we'll come back to the whole radar issue, is the fact that Neptune's British cruisers, and period, are the bane of destroyers. Very, very quickly you can wipe out a destroyer's health pool, and the guns reload pretty darn fast on the Neptune, nothing compared to the Minotaur. But overall still pretty darn fast, and granted you do have 9 and the Minotaur has 10, but the benefit of the Neptune is the fact that instead of having 2 guns in each turret, it has 3 guns in each turret, and the 2 forward and 2 rear can at least fire over, or better yet, for the Minotaur's sake, the first 2 turrets can fire over each other, while the Minotaur you can only get 2 instead of the full 3. So that's probably the most noticeable as far as the guns are concerned. Same caliber, same damage. Reload's obviously a little bit better than the Neptune, so slight difference there. But as always, the whole, I guess you could say, gimmick is the fact that the British cruisers do have that smoke, and it really is the best way to play the British cruisers. Not saying a radar Neptune or Minotaur is deadly, but it takes a lot of patience, a lot of teamwork, and skill to get the radar to working properly, because as you probably can guess, a Minotaur or Neptune selling in open water is a Minotaur or Neptune that is going to eat a ton of damage. So we are kind of hunkered down over here. We do see a Tirpitz pushing in against essentially 4 ships. Not particularly the greatest idea. And we do get nice, beautiful hits when we can actually get that superstructure. This is one thing I like about German battleships, is you can just downright rack up the damage. And British cruisers against light cruisers, American light cruisers, can be quite devastating. So do not disregard the ability of a British cruiser just wiping out the health of American light cruisers. So overall, I really do like my Neptune. I actually probably prefer it more so than the Minotaur. Don't know why, because like I said, there are quite a few noticeable advantages that the Minotaur has over the Neptune, but I've always had good luck with my Neptune. I would probably say it's my most played British cruisers, even more so than the Neptune. So gonna push in and try to assist as much as possible. Now, one nice little thing, and I don't think we see it too much here, because unfortunately I don't see that much in the way of cruisers actually firing AP, is a lot of people have the mindset of if they see British cruisers, shoot AP. You're going to get those citadels, you're going to do a ton of damage. And yeah, you are. However, a good Neptune or Minotaur captain will just go bow in and just deal with you for the front 3 turrets. Now Kagero, like I said, British cruisers are once again the bane of destroyers. No matter what type of destroyers there are, focusing down this Kagero has that nice little camo, Halloween camo going on right now. Even the Cleveland's reversing, gonna focus down this Kagero as quickly as possible. Don't overly care that much about the Cleveland. Definitely you can very quickly take out a Cleveland, especially if he's going to sit there broadside trying to reverse behind the island. Get a final citadel, do take him out. And for whatever reason this battle, I get kind of fat fingers. Now unfortunately this smoke was actually intentional, because there is in fact an Iowa on the other side of the map. Pretty certain he probably was going to look at me the wrong way, as well as this Seattle that seems to want to kill me as well. So gonna try to do some damage, try to see if we can take him out. Now Seattles are also very dangerous against enemy destroyers, against destroyers period. They have very fast firing guns, they have good HE penetration, especially if they do run IFHE. So overall, even American light cruisers are very devastating against destroyers. Keep in mind on that. Keep in mind on that Seattle, that enemy Seattle. Now, going to look on the other side, unfortunately, Imperial has come into contact with both the Cossack, which is extremely low in health, and the enemy Fletcher that is starting to push in. So things aren't looking very well at the moment for Imperial. He is getting somewhat focused down, and this is going to play a major role. Keep an eye on that Cossack, because that Cossack just took out Imperial and the Jutland. And once again, destroyers are very, very, very much needed, and they definitely can help win a game if left to their own devices. So we have C secured. Now I did mention that the Seattle is a very dangerous ship for any destroyer to deal with, because the Seattle has radar and it has hydro, and also has a heal. Benson comes around the corner, and as you probably can guess it, is probably going to be taking out our Benson. Fortunately, our Seattle is trying to assist as much as we can, or better yet, as much as he can, because I am going to try to push over here and try to assist. Now, I only have 2 more smokes, and that's actually very amusing. Both ships died at the exact same time, so we've lost our only other destroyer in this game. And we still have a Seattle, so that is very beneficial. It means we do have a radar. Now, the enemy team is pretty much strong on this side. We do have a Gneiss now, and I'm actually trying to see what that other cruiser is. But we do have at least 2 ships that are kind of dealing with those ships starting to push in. Iowa is pushing our way. We are detected. Not particularly what I wanted to deal with, but it does look like the Iowa is not bringing his main guns around to us, or better yet, his forward guns, but he still sees the British cruiser and he still thinks, ooh, let's get some damage. But right there, that is why I like British cruisers so much. Opening salvo against that Iowa, we did almost 7,500 points of damage, and any broadside target, you can definitely rack up that damage. But therein lays the problem with British cruisers, is if a target decides to go bow into you or starts turning away, you are going to struggle a bit more whenever trying to actually deal damage. Now, we do know there was a Fletcher there. Don't know where the Cossack is. And as you can see, we're not alone. We are being detected And this is probably another issue with the Neptune, is the fact that the Neptune has about, I believe is 7 kilometers smoke firing penalty compared to the Minotaur's 5 kilometers, and we just learned Confederate too, which is super nice. But any destroyer that is capable of getting close is going to detect you. I mean, there's nothing you really can do. You're gonna have to abandon that smoke. Donskoy goes ahead and pops his radar. We are detected, fortunately, as a Russian cruiser, and it doesn't have that long duration radar that American cruisers do have. But that's still an Iowa coming around the corner, and definitely don't want to be spotted for that much longer. So we do go quiet, just trying to get as much distance as possible. And always keep in mind with your torpedoes. Your torpedoes can be quite devastating. They're very fun to use. And once again, there is another difference between the Minotaur and the Neptune. The Minotaur can actually invisify his torps, while you cannot. You're going to have to rely on the target pushing in towards you. So this Donskoy really wants me dead. Like, really wants me dead. He continues to fire at me. Doesn't focus on the Seattle. Seattle is playing... I mean, granted it is the Donskoy versus Seattle, but currently the Seattle is a little bit further back away. Now, things aren't looking very well for us. Fletcher actually takes out the friendly stores. We are currently being capped in B. Really need to take out this Donskoy, but the Donskoy is actually outside my firing range. But as you can see, well, we're still being detected. Granted, we still have the gun bloom currently on. Let's see, trying to get as much distance as possible, hoping that destroyer is not in range, and currently he's not, but he is currently capturing B, and ooh, could have easily gone the wrong way, and there I go, accidentally popping my own smoke screen. So not the best position, and I'm gonna blame it on the fact that certain bindings for the heal button is B, and in this instance it's my smoke. So I use my smoke instead of popping my heal like I wanted, and going to try to get some torps off. We are down 1 ship. The enemy team still has 2 destroyers. Iowa is starting to push in, trying and hoping to at least get some nice shots over the island. But he's gonna eventually get behind that island where I can't even assist with that. Donskoy is still alive. We actually have a friendly. Gneisenau still alive as well. Trying to think who he's actually currently dealing with. Probably, it looks like it's another battleship. Don't quite know, but Donskoy is still alive. He definitely needs to go down. And there's still the fact that there's still 2 destroyers. And Seattle is pretty much point blank range against the Donskoy. Hopefully should take out the Donskoy with relative ease. There he goes, finally takes out the Donskoy. And slowing down. This is slight issue with the British cruisers, is the fact that granted they have very quick acceleration. They're very terrible at slowing up. Very terrible. Now we do actually have a Bismarck pushing in. Keep an eye on this Bismarck. He's actually fairly full health. I don't actually think he... Has he taken any damage? He's taken a little bit of damage. So, good. We have a near full health battleship. Iowa is just pushing in as strong as he can. Currently focusing on the Seattle. Showing us a lot of broadside. Seattle gets taken out by the enemy Iowa. Go ahead and just look at this damage. Just racking up broadside battleships. Oh, I love this. Doing so much damage with every salvo. And once again, you do have to at least aim more up towards the superstructure than obviously the bottom planing that's surrounding the ocean. Good lord. The hull. I was so close to dying. 1,615. Bismarck fairly healthy, and that's when the Fletcher enters the fray. And can we finish this guy off? Probably should have focused down the Fletcher a little bit earlier. Bismarck does take out the Iowa. We just lost our Gneiss now. Fletcher, of course, sees his opportunity to get some torpedoes off. Earn high caliber, does take out the friendly Bismarck. All that's left on the enemy team is that Fletcher and that Cossack. And keep in mind that Cossack has been alive for some time, and he's been alive with only 700 points of health right there. Lose sight of him. Trying as I might, can't seem to get any hits. Cossack is just firing away. Do pop our last heal. Should keep us alive a little bit longer. He does get a fire. Probably a good time to actually start going invisible. And gonna try our luck to hit this Cossack. Because once again, this Cossack's extremely low on health. This Fletcher is also extremely low on health. So things are a little tense. If the enemy DDs actually played a little bit, this Fletcher, I don't know why he went north like he did, does go down. And all that's left on the enemy team is that enemy Cossack. And I think had they just had that Fletcher peeled out west, probably would have survived. Do have Hydro up. Good thing I do. Torps are inbound. And Cossack has to make a play because we are actually ahead in points. And he does. He pops his smoke, fires his guns. And that is going to be it, because he is dead. So we do earn a victory, brought home 463,786 silver, 7,258 XP, earn Confederate Dreadnought and High Caliber, 167,011 points of damage, 1 Citadel, which is kind of nice. Once again, very, very beneficial against light cruisers. Can definitely get those Citadels. And we did make 4 kills. Almost got the Kraken. Would have been superb had we actually get that. Did earn a base XP of 2,846. A lot of our damage came from that Iowa. 64,699. And pretty much did almost most of our other points of damage besides the Cossack against the enemy DDs. So once again, British cruisers against DDs, just it's gruesome. So overall, not a bad game. This is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaichen.